Hello everyone! In today's video, I would like to tell you something about plugins in WordPress. If you are a newbie, it will be quite useful for you because you will learn a lot of things to start working with it. And even if you have some experience, I believe you also can learn something new. And of course, we start with creating. I opened my local WordPress installation in my editor. To create new plugin, you need to go to your plugins folder and create new folder in there. I name it Awesome Plugin, just for example, but of course you can name it whatever you want. It's up to you. The only condition, this name has to be unique, or later you will have conflicts with other plugins from WordPress repo. In this folder, you need to create the main or index file, which will contain all needed params like name, links, and so on. Usually, this file is named the same as the folder, so I name it awesome-plugin.php. Okay, how make WordPress to understand that it's our main file? We just need to add specific comment with all needed properties, and WordPress will grab all needed information from it. All properties are not required except one. It's the plugin name. Let's check it. So it's my plugins list in my local WordPress installation, and as you see, my awesome plugin is in here, and its name is exactly what I specified in here. Also, you can set bunch of things like description, author, or version. Version, by the way, is quite important if you're gonna upload it to WordPress repository. By the way, good practice is to add this. So what it does, it checks if this file is called directly or was included from the core. Basically, we check if this variable exists. If so, that's mean it was called by WordPress core. If not, it was called directly. So it's just for security reasons. Next, what I want to show you is how to add some links in plugins list admin area. Links like plugin URL or author URL. It will be displayed in here. Also, time to time you will need some links like plugin settings or some another link. We can easily add them. There's filter for this called plugin action links and plugin base name. So what is base name? Is basically name of its folder and main file. Usually, you want to define it in some variable like this, and make sure it has some unique prefix like abbreviation of your plugin name or something else. This filter calls function that will change the array of links. Make sure you didn't forget to return the array itself. To add link to this array, you can use array shift function to add it to the beginning or array push to add it to the end. Link itself is just an HTML string, which can contain any attributes like target blank, rel no refer, or whatever you want. Usually, you need to make link to some settings page, like in here in WooCommerce. We don't have settings page for now, but let's say you need some link to posts list. To add link to somewhere in WordPress admin, you just want to grab this part after wp admin/ and paste it in href attribute. Next, what you need to know is how to make your plugins translatable. To do this, you want to register its text domain. There is function for this called load plugin text domain. You want to call it on plugins loaded hook. In here, first attribute is our text domain itself. By the way, usually it's also specified in here. It's just for info reasons. Second one is deprecated. We can just pass false in here. And third attribute is relative path to languages folder in your plugin. Basically, it's where your translation files will be stored. I mean files like mo, po, or pot file, which is a translation template. So you can hard-coded this path, but there's a better way to do this. We can get it from dir name function and our base name variable. And of course, you need to create this languages folder. Next, what I want to tell you about is how to get full path to your plugin folder. First is link to folder. You will need it for including, for example, styles, JS scripts, or I don't know, images, any static files. There is function for this, plugin dir URL. It takes absolute path to plugin's main file as attribute. Second is absolute path. You will use it for working with files, like including files, creating, writing something into it, and so on. Basically, it's a path to place where file is located on a server. Next, what I want to show you is how to add some custom page or post template. It's a bit tricky. It's not like in a theme where you create a PHP file, specify template name in the comment, and WordPress will grab it automatically. If we talk about a plugin, you need to register it first, and then you will need to apply it to the page. Let me show you. We want to add filter theme page templates. Its function takes 3 attributes. First is an array with page templates currently registered in WordPress. Second is the theme, and third is the current post. In most cases, you don't use theme and post, but what is page templates? It's an associative array where key is a file name and value is a template name displayed in WordPress admin. To add something to this array, you want to just specify the key and value. By the way, don't forget to create this file. In my case, it will be awesome-template.php. And of course, you need to return back this array. So as you see, now we have our template as an option to choose. But if I set this template and save the page, nothing will happen. To apply it to the page, we want to replace default template with it. There's a filter for this called template include. Its function will change the template. What is template? It's the absolute path to the required template file. First, we want to get global post variable. Then we need to check if this template is chosen with getPageTemplateSlug function. And if it's matched our template, we want to load it instead of default one. Okay, time to time, you will need to know if your plugin or some another plugin is active or not. The simplest and fastest way is to check if some variable or class exists. For example, to check if WooCommerce is active, we can use this. If it's active, its main file was included, and this function returns true, otherwise false. To check if our plugin is active, we can check if some constant variable exists. There's a function for this, defined. If it's active, it will return true, otherwise false. But it will work properly only in theme code. If you use it in a plugin, it will work only if the plugin was loaded after the plugin you search for. For example, as you see in here, in my plugins list, WooCommerce is active. But if I check if its main class exists, I'll get false, which isn't correct. So why it happens? WordPress loads plugins one by one in alphabetical order, and because our plugin is loaded before WooCommerce, its main class doesn't exist yet. But luckily, we can check this using database option, Active Plugins. In this option, WordPress stores the list of active plugins. It's just a simple array of plugins base names, and we need to check if this array contains WooCommerce. Okay, WooCommerce base name is woocommerce/woocommerce.php. Array itself is this get option active plugins, and isActive variable is equal to this. This way requires additional database request, but it works always and everywhere. Next, what I want to tell you about is how to run some function only in the moment when a plugin is activated or deactivated. There's a function for this called register activation hook, which takes as first argument our main file absolute path, and second, the function itself. In here, you can run some code that you need. It's very useful when you need, for example, create some database table or set some settings or, I don't know, do anything that has to be done only once right after plugin activation. And same function for deactivation. It's register deactivation hook. It will run when plugin is deactivated. You can use it for clean some data, some settings, some cache, some things like this. Also, what you should know is what are MU plugins, or must-use plugins. Like regular plugins, they are also used to run some code, but there are several differences. Plugins are located in MU plugins folder in WP content folder in WordPress. If you don't have one currently, it's normal. By default, it doesn't exist, so you can create it. Every plugin, it's not a folder. It's a file which located directly in MU plugins folder. You can create folders in here and include files from it, but if you put the main file in this folder, WordPress won't read it and it's not going to work. Also, when you create a MU plugin file, there is no mechanism to activate it because it will happen automatically. It doesn't display in regular plugins list, but in a specific tab, Must Use in Plugins page. And just like activate it, you can't deactivate it. You can only delete the file from MU folder. Why you need this MU plugins? It's very useful if you have some important stuff that has to be protected from deactivation by inexperienced users. Like, for example, if you have some redirects from broken links to existing ones, you don't want users to be able to turn it off. Otherwise, you will have some SEO problems. So, I believe that's all what I want to tell you about plugins. Hope you did learn something useful from this video. If so, you can hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. It will support it a lot. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section down below. So, take care. Bye!